Hello everybody, how are you today on World Mental Health Awareness Day? Hello Rocky, do you want to say hello quickly before I get into the meat of this? No, just say hello. Okay, come on, quick, say hello. I'm sorry, a bit late. I was on a walk with Rocky and we got a little bit sidetracked, didn't we? Yes, we did. Yes, down you get. Oh, sorry, Ross. Okay, let's get into the meat of this. This is a really important topic today and one that is so perfectly aligned with World Mental Health Awareness Day, because I think that this is one of the things that can cause us so much anxiety, the feelings of overwhelm, and it comes when we have to make a decision. And I feel this is so important. I've even got notes today to keep me on track and to keep me focused so that I can help you be focused and make decisions in the right way. So anxiety to me, if I was to really think about anxiety, when I sat down and thought, when I've been anxious, what have I been most anxious about? And it is invariably, and in the majority of cases, to do with the anxiety of making a decision and not knowing what that is going to mean in the future. It's this fear of the unknown, of uncertainty of the future, the impact it can have on me, on my life, the impact that it could have on my family's life, the people I work with. What is going to be the impact? It's that uncertainty, that fear of misfortune, that fear of failure, the fear of danger, the fear of pain, all of those things. It's the projection of what we think might happen into the future that holds us where we are. And then that anxiety comes from all of the plethora of scenarios that could potentially happen. So today, this is my invitation to you, as we're going to start to move out of your head and into your body to make decisions, because that's really where we should be making our decisions from. I say should. We are so conditioned to make logical decisions, which is okay, but we can use the logic to back up what we feel in our bodies and our hearts and in our souls. And I want to share with you today three different ways in which I like to make really informed decisions that feel good in my soul, in my body, and then I can get the logic behind it so it feels good in my mind and then can alleviate that anxiety and that overwhelm from my mind. So just for an example, this is how I've made decisions, because it made no logical sense for me to leave my wonderful corporate career with six-figure salary, with benefits, with healthcare, with bonuses, a short commute, with a team I loved, an environment I loved, doing work that I loved. It made no sense. But I knew in my body I couldn't stay. But the fear of the future, the fear of change, the fear of impact on my family, how did I make that decision? Another one, when I had to make a decision, it made no sense to so many people around me, the decisions I've made in my relationships. Makes no sense to them, but it made sense to me because I made the decisions from the right place, from my heart, from my soul, from my knowing, and not from logic. It has made no sense, particularly to my husband and close friends, that I have pivoted my coaching business now. This is the third time. It's made no sense. On paper, it makes no sense. When I'm making six figures in my business, when I'm making 5 figures a month, why would I change what I'm doing? Because I needed to in my heart and in my soul, and knew it was the right thing to do. So I'm coming in to share with you 3 different ways that you can try on in order to make decisions, or if you're sat with a decision facing you, how you can start to make the right choices for you. I'm just going to take a drink, excuse me. So this first one, 3 ways, so I've titled this 3 ways to approaching decision making and reducing anxiety. So the first way I made decisions was just to detach from outcomes, let go of all of the outcomes in my head, and just be curious. Be curious along the way, taking one step followed by one step by one step, and just trying things on and being curious. Because what I believe is you're actually only going to find the answers and the certainty that you're looking for is through the experience of trying, of taking action and looking at it and saying, did that feel good? Is that right? What's happened? We're not talking about taking massive leaps. We're just taking little steps. Pick one of the options. You might be standing, it might feel like, and I know what it feels like, you're standing like at a crossroads where there's like many forks in the road, not this or that, but there's this or this or this or this or this, and it's overwhelming, the number of choices. But what you can do is just take one step in a direction, any one, the one that maybe feels the most aligned. Just pick that one. I'm going to head that way. And that is what I did. I made a decision and I decided I'm going that way. And actually I made that decision from logic. I made it from logic, and I was like, I'm going to go this way. And I started walking down that path. I started to sign contracts to move out from my home. I'd spoken to lawyers, I'd spoken to solicitors. That was the path that I was walking. But each time as I took a step, I asked myself, does this feel right? Does this feel right? Because you know what? I wasn't a tree. I wasn't stuck. I could move and I could change my mind. I'm a human being with emotions, with feelings. I'm a bright woman. I can make choices. And it was actually learning through that contrast of making that decision that I recognized this is the wrong way. This is not for me. My heart started screaming. My soul started shouting. And it was like, not this way, until it got so loud that I knew that the other way would have been the right way. It was about making a decision and sticking with that decision until I knew it was the wrong one. It's when you start to move, you can start to filter out and reduce the overwhelm by finding knowing. Rather than thinking about what might happen, go and experience and make decisions from that place of knowing. And I love this quote. It says, in the end, we only regret the chances we didn't take, the relationships we were afraid to have, and the decisions we waited too long to have. And I remember seeing that when I was making that. It was like, this is the wrong choice. I don't want to live in with regret. So be curious. Just ask yourself, is it this way? And shall I go and find out? That's what I said to myself. Is it this way? Let me go and find out if it is this way, and trust myself to know that if I've made the wrong choice, I can move. I can go back and I can go down another route. Or do you know what? There's a diversion. I can switch over very, very quickly that way. Trust yourself enough to try things on and make the decisions. You've got this. So that was number one. That is number one. That is one way that you could start to make a decision. If that still doesn't feel right, I've got two more. So the second way, and one way which I now love to make decisions from, is understanding my human design. I first had my human design chart read to me in 2021, and it changed the way in which I made decisions in my life, in my work, and in my health. Absolutely changed my mind. Now, for those of you who've never heard of human design, if you don't know what I'm talking about when I talk human design is spirituality, the true essence of spirituality, getting to know your spirit, yourself, your inner being, the energies that flow through your body. And the thing I love about it is it has been backed up with science. It is an understanding of how the energy flows through your body. I love to call it as an energetic DNA. And your human design gives you a chart, a map. In fact, I've got one here. I'm just about to do a design reading for somebody. It gives you this chart. Can you see this chart? These are all of your energies flowing around your body. And it will show you how you can use that energy flow to make informed decisions that feel good in your body. So the key things that I like to use are, first of all, my authority and my strategy. Now, I know that my authority is a sacral authority and my strategy is to respond. So I use those two in conjunction together. I ask questions of my sacral that gives me a yes/no answer. And so I'm responding. I respond to questions using my sacral hit of a yes or a no. I know this in my body. I get out of my head and I say, is it this way? Yes or no? No, it's not that. Is it this way? Maybe. Ask me another question. So I keep responding to questions until I get my sacral hit of a yes or a no, and then I make my move from there. I also use in conjunction my defined chakras. Now, chakras are energy centers that are within our bodies, and I use my defined ones to help me make decisions and also understand where I am undefined, to understand how I'm being influenced by energies around me or the people around me. So for example, so that you can understand what I'm talking about, I have a defined mind, I have a defined throat, I have a defined G center, and I have a defined sacral. So I will tap into my internal power sources to ask, okay, what is my truth? What do I want to say? What do I want to speak? What do I want to manifest? What is my soul telling me? My magnetic monopole behind my G center. What do I love? Where do I want to go? Ask myself those questions and fire up my sacral to tell me whether that is the right way or the wrong way. And then I use my mind to interpret all of these feelings to make sure it is the right direction. So I use those power centers to help me make bold decisions that I know in my body are right. I'm also highly aware that I have a lot of open and undefined energy chakra centers. I have an undefined crown and an undefined root. These are two pressure centers where I can get overwhelmed with the information that I'm receiving from outside of me. So in my crown, I can take on so much inspiration and information, thoughts, beliefs, ideas from others from around me. And my root, my open and undefined root, can also mean that I take on the pressures and the stress of other people too. I know that now. So I can use these in this knowing and knowledge. I can use that as filters. Is this my idea? Is this my thought? Is this my pressure? Is this my stress? Yes or no? And then I can remove that from when I'm interpreting the information that I have. I also have an undefined solar plexus, which is all about your emotions. I have an undefined spleen, which is all about sense and survival. And I have an open heart, which is all about ego and wisdom and consistent willpower. So I also know that I can be taking on the emotions of others, the stresses, the fears of others, the competition that I can sometimes feel with my open heart. And I can know and use those as filters. Is this mine? Am I trying to prove something? Is this my feeling? Is that their feeling? Is that my fear? Is that their fear? Am I doing this for me or because of my ego? I can use all of these questions as filters to help me make the right decision from my energies that I feel inside my bodies. It's just fascinating, this whole thing. I absolutely love it. But it has been absolutely instrumental in the way in which I make decisions. I can take it further. I understand my motivation. I understand my motivation is innocence. This is my driver. Go back to my first decision making, curiosity, play. Is this going to work? What if? What if this happens? What if it's wrong? What if it's right? What if I go and find out? I love to use those questions, and really living in alignment with that brings myself into this higher frequency of being able to move. I love that. So everything to do with human design has really, really helped me. If I'm sat at a decision making, I can pass it through my human design to help me understand what is going to be the most in alignment and truthful for me in this moment, and how is it going to make me feel good. Because ultimately, as World Health Awareness Day today is all about the absolute right to feeling good. And this is my emotional guidance system. Human design helps me understand how I can feel at my best. I am rare, I am unique, and I'm the only person who's going to know that. And human design helps me interpret all of that. So if by hearing what I'm talking about really helps you, and you would love to have a tool that can be that specific in helping you. My cousin's just arrived. I won't be a second. If you want to know more, then human design interpretations are £111. You can find them on my website. You can come and find me in my DMs. And if you want to call with me to go through your human design, then that's £222. So you can learn everything you want to in order to help you make those decisions. And then thirdly, when I have been truly and utterly stuck, I've always involved or engaged with the support of someone who can help me in the guise of a coach or a mentor, or someone who is completely objective to me. So they have got absolutely no influence or beholden to any kind of outcome. And especially when it feels like I'm gambling, when I'm taking a gamble, when it feels too risky. I don't want to get into that risky business. I need to have someone who can help me unravel all of those options, all of those ideas, all of those thoughts, all of those fears, all of those worries in my mind. Because I'm so conflicted by wanting to move from where I am, but at the fear of the risk of upsetting myself and everybody else. Now, I believe that there is not a mentor. A mentor is not there to make the decision for you. A mentor in my world has always been there to hold that really objective space, to guide, to ask the really powerful questions. I love to say that a brain surgeon can't do brain surgery on himself. This is real brain surgery. It's about diving into your mind and asking those powerful questions that you might be too frightened to ask yourself, and to unravel them. It's offering that really objective space where you are the number one priority for that mentor or coach. And that is what I love to offer. It's a space where you can really get uncomfortable in a really comfortable place, so that you can find the answers, so you can try them on, so that we can get you so confident in the decisions that you are about to make, because you have as much certainty as you possibly can in the outcome, or you are so comfortable with the fact that you are going to be uncertain and the outcome, it will be what it will be, and you will be okay. Now, in my private spaces, in mentorship with me and in coaching with me, there is nothing that isn't on the table. I am an open book. You can ask me anything about what's happened in my life, in my health, in my relationships, in my work, in my business, how I do things, how I've made decisions, what worked, what didn't work, so that you can try those on as well, so that you can hear them. One of my favorite tools that I love to share with my clients, and I'm going to share with you today, is the one called Jeopardy that I read in a book called The Tools by Phil Stoltz, I think his name is. And it's one that I return to all the time when I'm sat with one of those difficult decisions. I take myself to a place where I am sat with my future self, and I'm on my deathbed, and I have a conversation. And I have a conversation about a story I want to tell. Which story do you want to tell me? Which story do you want to tell me about your life? And how did it happen? And how did it unfold? And how did you get through the pain? And how did you unravel it? And how did it work out in the end? Because I go back to that quote that I said before, it's the choices that we regret, the choices that we don't make, or we leave too long to make. Now, my private mentorship is open. It is a very, very bespoke place. You can come and ask me. Let's find the right package for you. All you need to do is drop me a DM or send me an email at ali@xoalimortimer.com. Let's have a conversation and let's find out what is going to work for you. Those were my 3 top tips for making decisions to reduce the overwhelm and the anxiety. I hope that they have helped, or at least one of them is going to give you an idea on what your next step is in order to make the decision that you want to make.